Welcome back, everybody, to Season 5 of The Ball. I am your sweet-talking and sultry host of Headbanger. Good to be back, fresh off the Golden Horn Awards, so in case you did miss that, go back and check it out. It was a great time as always. Congratulations once again to all the winners from last year, best of last year's horror films. So officially now, to me, this is 2015 now, here on Season 5 of The Ball, and I have a cool show. I got a lot to get to. It is DVD Blu-ray update time. Yeah, so I do a couple of these every year, a couple of big updates. A lot of this stuff is stuff I picked up, for Christmas and my birthday. We just passed someone recently. Luckily I get a lot of cash from family members and whatnot, so I use a lot of that for this stuff. Picked up some really cool deals from various websites that were having sales over the last few months. So yeah, I got a lot of cool stuff. Here's a few things though that we'll go into the POV mode and show you a couple things that I think deserve a little bit of a closer look. That I got me style here with a few things that I think are worthy of a little bit of a closer look. I'll do this quickly. One thing I forgot to say though, with Valentine's coming up this Saturday, this weekend, whether you have someone close to you or not, whether you have that special someone or if you don't, whatever, but definitely you gotta watch this. And if you don't have this Blu-ray, it's a tradition for the wife and I, of course, every Valentine's Day to start the day off with this film. This is a great transfer. This is a good release. Even like the menu screen's cool, and there's some special features. I don't know. If you don't have this on Blu-ray yet, definitely make the upgrade. You can get this for really cheap too. Anyway, had to give props to the great My Bloody Valentine, one of my favorite slashers. Okay, got this hard box for Christmas. Christopher Lee, love this film. City of the Dead, Horror Hotel is another name for it, but I love that artwork. Look at that, cool on the back as well, really cool. The missus got this awesome hard box from 26. You guys know and love him. Look at that, Zombie Nightmare, Adam West, who's really not in it that much, but he has a cool death. Tia Carrere, look at that great artwork. This is a leather hard box, you can see that. Really awesome. So she was very appreciative of that. Thank you, 26. We had a blast watching this. Limited to 84. Number 52. I love these leather hard boxes. Really just awesome 80s cheddar fest. Great addition. Now a couple things. I love the film, the creature feature Leviathan. And look at this hard box. This is a Blu-ray hard box from the great 84 that I got for Christmas. Just love this artwork. So cool. Limited 84. And just want to say might as well show this. This is a hard box I already had. This is a DVD. I love this artwork as well. And I don't know if you can see, it has like a rainbow. If you turn it a certain way, it's got that rainbow glisten to it. Just awesome hard box. This one also limited to 84. And 26 gave me this. So thank you, my friend. This is I believe this is Scream Factory. Yeah, Scream Factory release. As always, I go with I just seem to always like the other artwork on the reversible sleeve. But I love how there's like no logo either for like. It's just such a clean cover on this, really. It doesn't have like a logo or anything. So anyway, that's a little Leviathan collection that I have. A couple of these, of which I got for Christmas. And lastly, I just wanted to show you guys this. For fans of Armando D'Assario and this film, Mrs. Headbanger got me this awesome media book for Christmas. I wanted this release for a while, and she knows I'm a huge fan of the director. Of course, most known for the great Tombs of the Blind Dead franchise. But if you're a fan of this film, get this release. I think I would call it the definitive release until I guess a Blu-ray comes along. This also has that leather type feel. Look at the great Helga Linné there, one of my all-time favorite Euro babes. She's a 3-second girl. That means I call her that because I would have lasted 3 seconds with her, if you know what I mean. Maybe 4 on a good day. But look at this. I mean, the inside is just awesome. Great color. Look at that. Excuse me. Whoa. I'm talking about Helga and I get all excited. There she is. Love this film. Great creature feature. I actually think, it's the rubber suit thing, which, I of course love. There's some really good gore in this film. Really good practical gore in this film. I actually rewatched it recently and kind of forgot how much good gore was in it. Some nice flesh ripping. And oh my god, look at Helga. Absolutely love this film. But they go through a little, I can't read this. This is in German, unfortunately. But being a little kid and just looking at pictures, it's cool. There's Helga Linné, whole biography on her, showing the movies she's been in. It's really cool. Awesome media book. Tony Kendall, who I always really enjoy. He's been in some of Armando's other films. I really like him. A nice leading man. Just an awesome media book, guys. So if you're a big fan of this film, I highly recommend you picking this up. Alright, now to the rest of the stuff. By the way, I'm feeling, you hear a little bit more of an extra jump in my voice. I'm feeling extra froggy today. I think I am coming down with a cold or something, but feeling extra good. I always feel good for doing the show, but I got a 3-day weekend now, which is really cool. Couple holidays. Tomorrow is actually Friday the 13th, which of course in this household is a major holiday. So we'll be, as we always do, we'll be showing, actually going to watch some Friday the 13th movies with Little Headbanger, which we do every time this happens. I believe there's another Friday the 13th next month for all you Jason Voorhees fans. And then of course Saturday is Valentine's Day, which the missus and I will be celebrating with, of course, great craft beer and horror films, a few of which we'll be watching that I'll get to here on this update. So yeah, really excited. Starting an awesome weekend away from work, the grind of work. All right, first start with some new stuff. As in 2015 horror. A few of these, some of you may consider 2014 horror, but we know how that all goes. It's all subjective. Anyway, this was released on DVD in 2015. The House is October built. Heard a lot of mixed things about this. Have yet to watch it, but definitely had to pick it up. It was cheap. It's got a nice slip. We'll watch this with Little Headbanger. She loves the spooky stuff, and of course we're big fans of going to haunted houses and stuff. So I thought the idea was really creative, and hopefully I like it more than some other people did. Another nice slip. Frankenstein versus the Mummy. It's one of those covers you look at, and I don't know about you guys. These are both by Image Entertainment, by the way. You look at this, and I'm like, cool slip cover. It's embossed, but first thing I think of is when I look at this is CGI. It just reeks that. But I don't know, a few weeks ago I checked out the trailer for it, and I actually didn't see any major glaring obvious CGI effects, which was surprising. So I was immediately thinking, hey, maybe this might not be too bad. And then I watched a review by Dave Parker, Mr. Parker, whatever you want to call him. But no, I really value his opinion. So when he gave a pretty good review for it and actually mentioned the fact that most of the effects in the film were practical, so I was actually very excited suddenly. And then this just came out on DVD, so I had to pick it up. It was cheap too, so looking forward to that, surprisingly. Speaking of bad covers, a film that I'm definitely excited though, but just an awful, awful artwork. Never, as we know, never judge a horror film by its artwork. The Canal, this received a lot of rave reviews last year on the festival circuits. I know some of you probably watched it on the old on-demand or streaming or whatever, but I will definitely be considering this a 2015 film. It's on DVD now, and I got this one from Canada, so I'm not sure if it has a U.S. release yet, but really looking forward to that. Heard a lot of good things, more of an atmospheric film, which I love. Here's a few films that, these will be the films the missus and I will be watching on our Valentine's Day. All brand new films that we're very excited about. Excuse me. This one, it seems like, possibly some of you out there as well, it seems like this was years in the making. I know they shot this film several years ago. Finally released. I remember seeing the trailer for the first time and just being blown away by it. Very colorful and looked like a lot of cool effects. The Demon's Rook, indie film. I mean, they say it's call it an homage to old school. Yeah, I think they even reference like Italian zombie movies. But yeah, I know there's a lot of practical effects and it looks really cool, low budget, but really stoked to finally check out The Demon's Rook and to have it on DVD. Go check if you haven't picked it up. Amazon, I think it's like $10, so really cool. Another one I'm really excited about. Another one that got a lot of high marks last year. Again through on demand and whatnot. The Honeymoon. This came out on Region 1, I think a couple weeks ago on DVD here in the States, but I went ahead and went with the UK release. Why? Because I like this cover a lot better than the US cover, and it's a nice slip, shiny. I don't know, I really like that cover, and I will definitely spend a few extra bucks just to get better artwork. That's how I am. That's the collector in me. Speaking of films that it seems like I've waited forever, I mean, I've talked about this film I guess probably a couple years by now, and that is Eduardo Sanchez Exists. You guys know I did a Bigfoot special. I love Bigfoot films. Hopefully this is maybe the best modern one. I'm really hoping so, and I love Eduardo Sanchez. I really think he's one of the best modern horror filmmakers, and I'm really excited for this. I know that it's actually a guy in a suit, which is awesome. So I can't wait to watch this. Again, you can pick this up cheap at Walmart, of all places. And another one I've been highly anticipating, another one that was on a lot of top 10 lists last year, number 1 in a lot of people's lists. Again, it was a film that wasn't available on practical format until here in 2015, so this will be eligible in my world for my awards come the end of this year. That is Starry Eyes, a critically acclaimed Starry Eyes, put up by Dark Sky Films. I had to go with it has reversible cover art, had to go with that. That's just such a badass cover. And I'm really expecting, I have high expectations for this. Love the trailer, love the concept. And, this will be our headliner for the missus and I. That's how we do things, our movie nights. It's like seeing a band, you got the opening bands and then the headliner. So this will be the last film we watch Saturday. Can't wait, I'm really expecting to love the film. He was up for Best Director in the Golden Horn Awards in last month. Dustin Wade Mills cranks up tons of films. Can't wait for the sequel to Her Name Was Torment. He's got the other one, Apple Cart, coming up. And this was The Hornet Sin and Hell's Cause. I picked up the special edition of this. Awesome, badass film. And it actually comes with a book, too. Actually, like if you got the deluxe edition, there's a full color book of nasty images. I didn't receive it yet, so hopefully that's coming soon. But go support Dustin Mills, just one of the best indie horror filmmakers out there today. Speaking of great indie, Redson Tower, this was up for Best Edition in the awards. Redson Tower, for me, it's my favorite toe tag film. Great 5-disc edition, unbelievable, great reversible artwork. I, of course, had to go with the booby artwork, so hopefully the booby police doesn't come after me, but great edition. They had a problem with one of the discs, and in typical toe tag class, they took care of it, sent a new disc out to everybody. So I actually haven't watched this version yet. I did see it actually last summer at Slaughter in Syracuse, the redone version of Redson Tower, and it looked great. And I can't wait. There's a big, long documentary on there, which I can't wait to see, and I'll probably show this film for the first time to Little Headbanger, and we'll probably watch the documentary when we do that. Here's a pile of kind of random stuff. I got some other stuff kind of divided by decades, but this is just kind of like random stuff here and there. I believe this is an 80s film, The Howling 4, the original Nightmare. I love the original Haunting, of course. Not too big on the second one, and I don't think I saw the third or fifth one. But I always wanted to see this one. I heard it's got a pretty cool ending, some good effects, and to coincide with this next film, The Incubus, which is another 80s film, which kind of has like a creature in it. These are both directed by John Huff, or John Ho. I assume it's pronounced John Huff. But anyway, he did a great film, The Legend of Hell House, which is one of my favorite haunted house films. And I just never realized that, I love that film so much. It's from the 70s. I didn't realize, I knew he did the film, a really cool film, American Gothic. But finally, I rewatched like Hell House somewhat recently, and decided to, kind of IMDb him just to see what else he did because I love that film so much. And then I noticed he had done these two films. He directed both of these films, did some research on them, and I had no idea he did these films. So I went after him right away, and I'm excited to watch both of these two. So pretty cool, kind of a guy, John Huff, maybe an underrated guy who has a pretty decent body work in the genre. With that, of course, legendary Legend of Hell House. Small hardbox by CMV. I wish they put out large hardboxes because they're really cool. This is awesome 80s cheddar film. Graydon Clark's Uninvited. Just awesome stuff if you've never seen it. I have another edition of this, but I hated the cover on it so much, and this cover is just badass. Nice edition. They put out really nice small hard boxes, which is cool. So see how that transfers. It's probably the same transfer the DVD I have, but I need a better cover for that awesome film. Film I got from Norway, Christmas Cruelty. Saw a trailer for it. Director was on Facebook selling these. Really cool. I like the artwork and it's signed in gold. I would have liked to have seen this as a Christmas horror film. If you see Santa on there, I would have liked to have gotten this before Christmas. Unfortunately, it came like a week or two after. And but really cool guy, and I haven't checked it out yet. I have a tough time watching Christmas horror in the off season, so I might just hold on to this till next year. Creature feature that I've wanted for a while from 1990, and it definitely, very close to the 80s, but definitely has that 90s horror feel to it. Sinjanor, just if you like cheddar fest with a guy in a rubber suit, that's what this is. Not as much gore and effects that I would like to see in a film of this ilk, but it's very enjoyable. And I forget this actor's name, but the guy from Reanimator, he's just so over the top and enjoyable in this film. Just a fun cheddar fest for sure. And I picked it up for really cheap. Hamilton Books, which is a website I wasn't really too familiar with, had a big sale. I think it was last month or the month before, and picked up a lot of good deals on there for very cheap. I think this is another one of them. Hidden, After Dark Horror Fest. Most of those films are pretty lame. This one's pretty good. It's one of those films I watched it kind of half asleep. Sometimes you catch a film at a bad time. I think that was the situation with this. To begin with, it's a very slow film, so I think that definitely affected me. I was in and out, so I got to rewatch this one. I didn't love it the first time, but like I said, I was dozing off, and I got to give it a rewatch. It's a foreign film. I'm not exactly sure. It's either Norwegian or Sweden, but I got to give that a rewatch. Got it for very, very cheap. Quicker here, I got a lot to get to. Another film I picked up from Hamilton Books, I believe, for very, very cheap. One called Amusement. I don't remember what year, 2007. That's one of the ones I rented that year or whatever at Blockbuster or something. And it's just one of those films that I remember really liking the first half and not liking the second half so much. But I figured, I remember it had its moments. This was like $2. I figured, what the hell. I just remember one awesome scene of this clown here. I was sitting in a chair and the girl's on the phone, the clown's behind her. And it's just supposed to be like a stuffed clown, and then it suddenly stands up. And it's just really awesome, creepy scene. But I might have a little more love for it watching it again. But I just remember kind of it being a little inconsistent. Film I wanted to own for a long time. Another one I believe I got from that sale. Unearthed Films, Mercy, awesome badass film, shot in black and white. The film is from the 2006, something like that. Yeah, really dark, disturbing film if you've never seen it. Great performance by this guy here. Kind of the less you know, the better, I think, with this one. But if you're into, I don't want to say avant-garde, but just dark, twisted films, this is just really, really cool film. Badass. Happy to have it. A remake. You guys know I'm not a big remake fan, but I really like this film. Finally own it, and I went with the Region 2 release of this because I know the the Region 1 release is cut, which I think a lot of people don't realize. That's Tobe Hooper's remake of the Toolbox Murders, and I mean, I gotta call it a loose remake anyway because it's really, other than using tools to kill, it's really, it doesn't follow anything of the first film, and I'm a big fan of the first film. This is a really cool modern slasher in my opinion, and I don't think this film gets enough love. It's got what's her name in it, who a lot of us love. Jesus, why am I forgetting her? Angela Bettis. Also has a little role by Sherry Moon Zombie as well. But good gore, like the killer. I think it has a cool atmosphere. I don't know, good location. Happy to finally have this. This is a 2-disc edition, uncut, and I haven't seen it uncut, so I'll probably like it even more. Okay, now the stuff that's a little more separated. I've been kind of working. You know, we all go through our stages when we're picking up new films for our collection for the library, and you know, there's a lot of stuff I was missing from like 40s and 50s, 60s and 70s. Kind of, I have a lot, of course, from those decades. But there's just a lot of titles I needed that I needed to, you know, fill the spots in and cross off the notebook. So I really focused on those decades over the last several months. Another one that was cheap, Dementia. Finally owned this one. Kino Video. I've never seen this one. Awesome. Definitely ahead of its time. Avant-garde 50s horror film. Barely any dialogue. Yeah, it's a weird film. Definitely kind of. I'm sure David Lynch was a fan of this film. But check it out. I remember renting this a long time ago when it was on VHS with a buddy, and we were up one night. We may have been smoking something, and we really enjoyed it. So happy to have that. Another one I wanted forever. Speaking of guys in suits, Terror in the Midnight Sun by Something Weird Video. Man, years ago, I remember writing that. I remember the day I wrote this title in my horror notebook, to buy notebook. The trailer was just so badass. You can see the big creature, just awesome. It's shot. This is a Swedish film, I believe. This was, I think, the first like Swedish horror film, if I'm not wrong. And it's shot kind of in a kind of frozen tundra. Basically, there's a lot of snow and people on this expedition, and they come across this monster. It's got a hot chick in it, who, mind you, never wears this outfit, unfortunately, because most of it's in the snow anyway. But the lead chick is really hot. And yeah, this monster is just badass. If you're into monster flicks, it is shot in black and white, of course. And this guy here, it's a big suit, and he's actually on stilts, which makes him appear even bigger. I mean, there's a few shots where they use like model things to make him look bigger, but he is in other shots with the actors. He is actually on stilts, and they do a lot of shots where they look up at him, and it's just really cool. He looks really, really big and demented and really cool. A little bit of a goofy face, but it's a really fun. 50s black and white, I guess you call it creature monster movie. Really cool. It's really cool that it's in the snow too. That seeing that monster in the snow looks really cool. 40s film. I Need a Return to the Vampire. Awesome Lugosi film. Love it. Finally happy to have it on its own with really awesome cover art to the collection. I love that film. See, I love him in that film. Another one with Lugosi that I needed. The Night Monster, and I've actually never seen this film. This is the Universal Vault series. Happy to finally have this one. Another, what year is this from? I don't remember. I ain't got time for that. Night Monster. Can't wait to check that out. One that's been on the list for a long time. Love it. One of my favorite anthologies. Dead of Night. This is a British anthology. And, man, my favorite. If you've never seen this, pick it up. Just fucking buy it. If you love black and white horror, if you love anthologies, particularly this one, Ventriloquist, with that dummy, really creepy. I believe that's the third segment of it. Really creepy, really awesome. I love this. Happy to have it. Slipcover, very cool. Can't wait to rewatch that. Great werewolf film, The Undying Monster. I don't think this film gets enough love. I need to pick up some werewolf stuff that was missing in the collection. This one's awesome. It came in that damn skinny little cases. You guys know what I mean? So I had to like cut it. I just hate those things. I hate having that on the shelf in that little skinny case. So I cut the side of it and added it, the front and back cover, to a normal size DVD. I'm just weird like that. But look at that great artwork. If you've never seen this film, awesome 40s werewolf film. Another werewolf-related item that I picked up, the Sam Katzman box set. Speaking of the thin cases, those are the type that I mean. But really cool. But there's two. One of the discs is Giant Claw and Creature with a Atom Brain. I've never seen either one of those, but this is the main reason I bought it, for these two films. I remember back in the day watching, a friend of mine showed me The Werewolf, and it was awesome. And it's a 50s werewolf film. Really cool. I don't hear too many people talk about that. I think, no, it's not up there with the Universal Monsters Wolfman, but it's maybe my second favorite, at least black and white werewolf film. And then Zombies of Moritao, I've always wanted to see Check out the trailer. It definitely has, I don't know, it deserves credit, I think, as to one of the early zombies that were more like the Romero style. I wonder if Romero was at all influenced by that film. But happy to have those two in particular. And plus cool to have these two here. The Sam Katzman box set, four films directed by him. Can't wait to rewatch The Werewolf. One I got off of, this doesn't have an actual proper release, so I had to get it off iOffer. Back from the Dead, a film I wanted to see for a long time. I believe this is from 1957, I want to say. Spook House film, takes place in a castle, newlyweds. Trailer looked really cool, and it's been on my list, to buy list for a long time. Finally had to seek it out and found it. Pretty cool cover art, so can't wait to watch that. Anytime there's a black and white horror film that I've never seen before, it really excites me. Okay, this is 60s stuff that I needed. Devils of Darkness and Witchcraft. I actually haven't seen either one of these films. Both from the 60s. Midnight Movies double pack. A lot of times with these double packs, I mean, when there's films that I really like, I would prefer to have them on their own single release. But if it ends up being a case like this where I wanted both films, it's cool to have them together. And what I'll do is I'll watch them back to back as a proper double feature, which just kind of adds to the release and makes it extra cool. So excited to watch that. Another film that I don't get enough credits, Lady in a Cage. Definitely, I think, ahead of its time. If you're a fan of Spider Baby, which you should be, for Christ's sake. If you dug that, I think you dig this film. It's got a similar kind of vibe to an early role for James Caan. Really, just, I think, ahead of its time. Pretty demented film. Badass, and happy to have this from the Warner Brothers Archive Collection. A film, I love this film, finally got it. Slaughter of the Vampires by Dark Sky Films. Look at that artwork. I love that artwork. Great vampire film, great black and white film, and really another one that I don't feel gets enough credit. I mean, if you love vampire films, you love black and white films, pick this one up. It's freaking awesome. I actually think this is an Italian film. It's a foreign film, but I'm not exactly sure exactly where it derives from. But I'm happy to have this. Got it for cheap too. I love that artwork. A film that I've always wanted, never seen. Got this for super cheap. Love Susan Strasberg. One of my all-time favorite performances in horror came from her in not The Manitou, but which she was great in too. Taste of Fear, Scream of Fear. Anyway, the name of the game is Kill, and I've heard that this is from VCI Entertainment. I've heard actually that there's some kind of a poor man's Bava film in that the cinematography is actually pretty cool. Some kind of abstract angles, some good colors, but yeah, I'm really excited to see this. And Susan Strasberg has a big role in it. There's a creepy part with a doll and all that, which I always love. So excited to see that film. Another 60s. If you're still with me, thanks for sticking around. Bloodbath. Thrilled to finally have this one. Jack Hill, Roger Corman. Kind of a weird situation where the film had a lot of problems in shooting. So when it was re-edited, I believe by Corman, the finished product led to a lot of continuity issues, and you definitely notice that when you watch the film. But I gotta say, it is an awesome film. Some really good imagery, black and white. I love this film. If you're like me and you love black and white classic horror films, some of these titles here, give them a pickup. Some good stuff. Love this film. Can't wait to rewatch that one. Another black and white, Brainiac. I love these Casanegra Presents by Panic House releases. I have several of the other ones which I just love. Classic Mexican horror, black and white, all shot really well. This is one a little more on the cheesier side, as you can see from that. A monster with a crazy looking mask like that. But really cool, a lot of fun. Watched this a couple weeks ago. It says tagline is most bizarre horror movie ever. I don't know about that, but it's probably close. It really is a strange film, and it's really cool. A lot of fun. Good Mexican cheddar. Again, some of their other releases are more serious, creepy stuff. That's definitely more on the cheddar side. Vinegar Syndrome, Drive-In Collection, double feature. Once again, situation where I wanted both films. More so The Dungeon of Horror, which is supposed to be a kind of a crazy gory 60s film, and then you get Death by Invitation as well, which is actually from 1971. But yeah, I really got it for, always wanted to see Dungeon of Horror, but it's cool that you get Death by Invitation as well, which seems like a pretty cool period piece film. Happy to have that. Well, again, I will watch that as a double feature. Tomb of Torture, Euroshock Collection. Goddamn dreaded snack case. Nonetheless, awesome. Another awesome black and white film that I don't think gets enough credit from 1965. Really cool. If you like, really cool location. If you like kind of that tombs and chasms and castles, just that whole vibe, you really enjoy this one. I can't remember where this was made. I think this is an Italian one as well. So definitely one that could have been in my Italian update from a couple months ago, if I would have had it at the time. One I've been after for a while is Code Red release. Fucking Code Red. The Witchmaker. Like some of those titles I'm still after and just never seem to pick them up at a reasonable price. I got this one at a reasonable price. Yeah, just always wanted this one, never seen it. I just love that satanic witch type horror films, particularly ones from the 60s and 70s. And I know this one's supposed to be pretty over the top, but excited to finally have that release. On to the 70s, one of my favorite decades of horror. Audrey Rose finally got a release of this one. I know it's been put out. Speaking of like overpriced releases, I know Twilight Time, The Holier Than Thou, Twilight Time released this film. Would have loved to have got it on Blu-ray, but you know, it's just anytime they put out their stuff as like a pre-order or whatever, when they do their announcements for a particular title, lots of stuff I've wanted. Of course, Fright Night was the recent one. I never seem to have the money at hand when that happens. And then once it gets to the secondary market, all you fucking assholes that put these Twilight Time releases on eBay. I just saw Fright Night 1 on eBay for like $200. Like, are you kidding me? You will take that release to the grave with you. Just ridiculous. No one's gonna pay that. Whatever. Perfectly fine with having this bare bones original DVD release. Such a great film. Love this film. I don't think the missus has seen this one, so I'll have to show it to her. Anthony Hopkins, so awesome. That lead girl is just what a performance. Wonder what she went on to do, because she was fantastic. Cameron Mitchell in a nice cheddar performance, and The Demon. Always wanted to see this film. Watched it recently from 1979. Man, it's funny. Like, to quickly say, took me a couple times to watch this because another one of those ones where I was like, you know, just bad timing. I was tired late at night on a work night. And so I kept having to rewatch it. But, I mean, the first pass through it, I gotta say, I was like, man, I don't even know if I'll keep this movie. Very slow, which I don't mind slow things, but just, yeah, literally nothing happens for a while. But what really saved this for me, and maybe perhaps watching it a couple times, it definitely does have a really cool vibe. It's got that 70s vibe to it. Not the greatest picture quality, which to me, a film like this just kind of adds to the ambiance of it. But I really ended up really liking the final act. This one chick here, you can basically call it kind of a slasher film. And I believe it was shot in South Africa, of all places. And this killer has like this kind of like Freddy Krueger type glove. But the final act, where the killer basically chases after her, it's actually pretty sweet. Chases her through this house, and it's pretty tense, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes of the film. And there's actually some pretty cool stuff, and she's running around in her robe, and I really like the ending, and the very last scene is really cool too. Pretty cool effect, and it really saved the film for me. And now I'm happy to have it in my collection. It has some charm to it, and it took me a little bit to see that charm. Crucible of Terror, just picked this up, released by Severin, a film I've wanted for a long time. Yet to see it, really excited. Looks really cool. Love that color art, those colors. A British horror film. People say kind of influenced by House of Wax, which is cool. Guy kind of pours wax on chicks, as you can see. But excited to see that one. Beyond the Grave, another British horror film, anthology film. I love this one. I really do. If you're into anthology films and you've never seen this one, you know, ignore the awful cover artwork. This has one of them has Donald Pleasance in it. Really cool performance. I think there's 3 or 4 of them, and I really liked all of them. Good stuff. Good British anthology from the 70s. The Other, finally picked that up. for the library. Awesome spooky film. I don't think Mrs. have ever seen this either. So I got some good 70s nuggets, classics to show her. Double feature from Scream Theater. Don't Look in the Basement, which I already own, of course, but I needed Don't Open the Door, which I've never seen. So that'll be a cool double feature to watch. Another double feature. It'll be cool watching a lot of these double features back to back. I just think it's cool to do that, to take advantage of these back to back double feature releases. New to both these films. Cool that they came together. Satan's Slave and Terror. I've actually seen neither one of these, so really excited. Two films that have been on my want list for a while from the 70s. Just had to beef up the 70s collection. I got a ton, but just a lot of titles. Here's another one. I bought this particularly for the Mephisto Waltz. If you don't have that film, or if you haven't seen it, go check out the trailer and tell me you don't want it. That's all I'm saying. And it's got the House of Skull Mountain too, which I'm heard is pretty cheesy and fun. But I really got it from Mephisto Waltz. Finally picked up the Demon Seed. 70s sci-fi horror gem. Really cool, weird film. Has some sexually driven dynamics to it as well. Really like the lead performance. I forget her name. Julie Christie. She's usually entertaining. Cool 70s flick. Here's a film. Man, I wanted to have this for when I had Italian Horror Month back in September. I really wanted it. And just wasn't able to pick up all the other stuff that was going on in the fall, all those other great releases. This would definitely, in case you missed it, you love Italian horror, go back. I did Italian Horror Month. I did a top 30 underrated Italian horror films. This would have definitely been on that list. So I'll do an addendum and add this. So this will be the 31st. Actually, a couple of those other ones I would add it to, like Tomb of Torture and the vampire one. Anyway, it's called A Quiet Place in the Country. Don't really hear too many people talk about this. I know there's plenty of people out there who dislike this film. Starring Franco Nero and Vanessa Redgrave. I finally picked it up. I watched it somewhat recently. I fucking loved it. It's basically, he's a writer and he's kind of one of those things like The Shining that he basically starts to go crazy and he starts to have these like nightmares and it's just conceptually really artistic and artsy. But man, there's some crazy stuff in here. Some awesome imagery. Well shot. Franco Nero is just awesome if you're a fan of him. Vanessa Redgrave, who I never really considered attractive, and she's sexy in this film for whatever reason. But yeah, really awesome, sadistic, weird, artsy, Italian 70s Italian horror film that I don't think gets enough love. Really cool to finally have that one. Pick it up. I got some Blu-rays. I'll run through these really quick. I'm running out of time, and I don't really want to make another part of this. Arrow Video had a great sale somewhat recently, so really got some of Bava. You guys know Mario Bava is my favorite director of all time, so got some more of his stuff on Blu-ray. Black Sabbath, of course, one of the best films ever. Look at that artwork by Graham Humphreys. Least and the Devil, more great artwork. Such an amazing film. Baron Blood, so happy to get these. I love Arrow Video so much. Baron Blood, great artwork. Girl Who Knew Too Much, one of my all-time favorite giallos. Adore this film. John Saxon, the sexy Letitia Romaine, just awesome. Love this film. Showed this to the wife somewhat recently. She loved it. Finally picked up Brian De Palma's The Fury. Love that cover. Went with the reversible cover art. Can't wait to watch that. Long Hair of Death. Thrilled with this release. So stoked. I've actually talked about this film in my Italian Horror Month. So happy for this to finally get its own proper release by the great Arrow Video. Love their stuff. It's got the slipcover and the alternate artwork. Barbara Steele, great witch film, basically. Period piece. So awesome. Love that release. Love Arrow Video. Something Waits in the Dark, aka Screamers. This was also Island of the Fishermen by Sergio Martino, which Roger Corman, if you haven't heard the story, basically redid the beginning of the film, added some gore to it. I like this edition. Screamers. I went with this artwork, the reversible sleeve on here. Something Waits in the Dark. I love that artwork. This is put out by Scream Factory. No, Scorpion releasing. So excited to have one of my all-time, I guess underrated zombie films. I know a lot of you out there love this one. Definitely more for people who enjoy more ambient, ambiance, atmospheric vibey type zombie films, or just films in general, as Shockwaves. Was stoked because I actually only have a hard box of this, which has a pretty crappy transfer, and so I was excited about this. But I gotta say, I mean, I don't know what the DVD of this film was like that Blue Underground put out years back, but I was disappointed with this transfer. Didn't look like a Blu-ray at all to me. I realize this is an old film. Maybe they didn't have access to a good print, but I almost feel like it was pointless to make a Blu-ray of it. I can only assume this isn't much better than the DVD put out. So I was disappointed in that, but happy to have it. It's got a nice slipcover embossed, and I needed a better copy anyway, but overall I was disappointed with that transfer. Coffin Joe, Embodiment of Evil, one of the more recent Coffin Joe releases. Synapse Blu-ray, got this for very cheap online on a sale. I'm happy to have that. I love the Coffin Joe stuff, of course. Mr. Sardonicus. It's a 2-pack, these Blu-ray 2-packs, which for the record, they're on the same disc, but I gotta say, I have the My Bloody Valentine. No, not mine. It's Happy Birthday to Me and When a Stranger Calls. I have that 2-pack, and I gotta say, the transfers look great. So in case you're questioning whether or not it's going to be good on one disc, makes you wonder. But happy to have Mr. Sardonicus on a Blu-ray, and also kind of cool to get Brotherhood of Satan, which I own on DVD already, but it'll be cool to watch that. I love the satanic film. So yeah, can't wait to watch Mr. Sardonicus in its Blu-ray glory. Speaking of Blu-ray glory, glorious vampire film, Daughters of Darkness, Blue Underground Blu-ray release. Thrilled to watch this in HD. That'll be really cool. Love that film. It Came Without Warning. Another Gray and Clark film. I love this film. Really cool atmosphere. Alien film, basically. I don't know. I just really like the vibe. A lot of it takes place at night, and basically just a couple trying to get away from these aliens. They got these, if you've never seen it, these little creatures that the alien throws at you and it sticks to you. Jack Palance is in this. A couple other, Cameron Mitchell briefly. Just I don't know, I really like this film a lot. I'm a Gray and Clark fan. And I went with the, of course, seems to always go with the reversible sleeve on the artwork. Big Gene Roland fan. Finally picked up Fascination, which is one of my favorite Gene Roland films. I really wanted this one. I'd like to get all his films on Blu-ray because they're visually, cinematography is very strong, of course. And but I got Fascination from Redemption Films. Always cool releases by them. They have a cool booklet on the inside and whatnot. I love this film. I think that's it, guys. I think I made it through everything. Thanks so much for watching. It was a long one, but it's Horror's Ball. Why wouldn't it be long? I might do, as I said earlier, I might do a collection update with some of the other stuff that I got for the holidays. Some of the more like rarer box sets and whatnot. And again, I did a trade and stuff. So maybe I'll do that if you guys are interested. Do a comment. That's it. Hopefully we'll see you guys soon. Take care, stay scared, and we'll see you next time out. Thanks so much for watching as always, guys. We'll see you soon. I'm out. 3-day weekend.